Peace and blessings. My name is Carlos Walker. This is Art and Hustle Black Authors Matter, and today I'm with my main man Brandon. How you doing, bruh?
What's good? What's good, man? I'm
Man,
doing well. I'm doing well. I can't complain, man. I'm blessed.
okay. So, if you will share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I am, I guess, youth activist. I am entrepreneur. I'm a father. I'm a musician. I hold a lot of hats, man. I do a lot, a whole bunch of different things. But currently, right now, I am in the process of getting a lot of stuff out that's been, on my chest for a while. And that's in the form of my books. I have two out as of now. My second one just dropped here August 1st. And that one is called From Ashes to Assets. Um, and that one that's gonna be a whole another conversation because that one kind of go deep, man. I was super inspired by a film I saw called 13th on Netflix, and I kind of just ran with some thoughts and stuff I had in relationship to that, and you know, uh, our people, African American people, being able to position ourselves for um, stable and successful futures, not just for ourselves, but for our families, in the form of generational wealth. So I went kind of deep with that one. But this first book right here, this is it's a fiction novel. I'm super proud of this book just because we were talking earlier. I had wrote a lot of these ideas and thoughts down when I was in prison back in
Okay.
2015. So to see it come to life now is super dope, man. It is a fiction novel again. It's loosely based on my life and some things that occurred. Um, but I decided to go fiction with it just for the sake of protecting myself and others. And there's some things that I didn't mention just because I hadn't spoke with anyone when I went into this project. I just kind of spontaneously got to writing, and so I uh, I didn't clear anything with anybody as far as context and things that could or could not be put in the book. So I just kind of played it a little bit safe. I am now having conversations with people because people are asking like, man, they asking about certain stories or things that they might have remembered. Just because the people that know me, they're like, oh, I know this is based upon things that happen in your life. So other people asking about certain parts that are not there. But I am going to be coming with another book that's going to take people basically from the time I came home from Grambling State University all the way till I got to prison. Um,
Okay.
and that and it's going to be some more of the exciting stuff that people want to hear about and stuff like that. So, but with this one, I just it was really this book was more motivational for me when I sat down with this. The idea behind it being I wanted to show, excuse me, what I talked to the youth about so much in York Academy, and that was, there's nothing that you can't come back from.
Come on now.
There's too many people that have been through, far worse, than a lot of these things that you may be experiencing, as an adolescent. And not to say those things aren't bad, because as an adolescent, I went through fatherlessness and, a whole bunch of things like that. So, lack of having, a father figure in my life when I had a stepdad right there. So I understand those traumas, but I also understand too, um, what it takes and ways that you can get through that.
Mm.
I overcame a lot of that stuff, and also too falling into pitfalls. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? That was also another message too. It's like you young, you growing up. There's things that are going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But it's also learning how to get back up and keep pushing, keep trying. And so that's where I kind of came from with this book. Was more so to show how I fell and how I rose again and came from, all those things that could have held me back or things that could have put me in a far worse position in my life, but I chose to make a different decision. So
And
that
and
was
you say it's fictional, but it's loosely based off of your life.
correct.
So,
Correct.
if you don't mind me asking, give me a small example of something you actually bounced back from.
So man, it's so many things.
Yeah, something that's in the book.
Okay, so something that okay, so the pull of the streets is something that I fought with all the way up until I got to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Um, it it wasn't always the money. You know what I'm saying? It was after a while you get addicted to the lifestyle. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Um, and it's a addiction that is really hard to describe unless you've been there. You know what I'm saying? But it's something, it's a pull, on you that is always lingering in the back of your mind, especially when things get hard. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I know what I can go do real quick you know what I'm saying? But it comes with so many repercussions. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that I battled with for a really long time. Um, and I think it just came to a point of reevaluating my life and what was really of value to me, and taking those things more seriously and realizing that I've had second chances like 1,000 times over. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna keep coming. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen too many people not get as many as I've had and seeing the outcomes of those situations. So it was just like, and for so long you do things a certain way, and you always hear try something else. That's the definition of insanity. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that it's going to be a different outcome, doing the same thing over and over again. So at a certain point, it's just like, man, but I've been doing the same thing for so long. What could the possible outcome be that would be worse if I tried something
Mm, I'm glad you hit there because that was about to be my next question. What was it that you chose to do, or what broke the pattern of you wanting to live that street life, knowing yes that I know this, I can easily do this. This comes like second nature to breathing.
different?
But well,
Yeah.
yeah, literally. But what was it that broke that mold and made you, other than what you just shared with me, which was you said understanding, when you came to the full understanding of what insanity was, knowing that
um, I, I think there's pivotal times in my life that have occurred multiple times where I feel like I a light bulb came on, and not just that, where kind of my hand was forced, right? And you asked, and we spoke about this before, I think in our last interview, but when you ask God for stuff, or for something, and He delivers it comes with a different responsibility sometimes. You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? And you don't realize that until that what you asking for comes, right? So, for instance, with York Academy, um, I I questioned and hesitated jumping in that boat with Dre for a minute, and a part of me was because I knew it came with a
with
different set of
responsibility.
responsibilities, right? So I've been a heavy smoker all my life, right? I smoked weed since 2003. So, uh, and I frequently, was on live or Instagram, whatever, and I had videos of me smoking or whatever, stories in my stories and stuff, and I knew once I jumped into this seat that I was gonna have to kill all that, and
Because
so
now the responsibility that you have is, or the accountability that you have,
yeah,
is to those young people that's watching you. And if they see you doing it, knowing that you're the leader of York
yeah,
Academy, then what
yeah,
happens to them, they go and blow all their money. They will follow the leader as the leader is.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. So there was a lot of there was a couple of times in my life where it was almost like, I asked for something and I got it and I was like, oh man, I forgot. Or I didn't realize that this was gonna come with, a different set of responsibilities. So that was a big part of it. It's just as I was asking God for certain stuff and setting goals for my life and things I wanted. As that stuff came, it was just like certain other things had to stop. There was no choice,
Mm.
and weighing the outcomes. I'm not going back to prison. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, that's not even on the table. You know what I'm saying? And a big realization too is like to take even a small hit like it was for me. I mean, most people look at it like, "Dang, you went to prison." I mean, yeah, but 3 years, even that again, you know what I'm saying, and having to go through that again, my kids would be grown. You know what I'm saying? Like you lose so much, um, and so it's just not something I'm willing to even risk or play with again. So a lot of that weighs heavy, when you're making decisions, and especially too when you seeing people around you who have gone through the same things and they're getting hit for their second and third times. Nah, I'm cool, man. Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it.
So the
So
book, to your point, the book actually shows a lot of your growth,
yeah, yeah,
and it
definitely,
helps others learn that they can grow too.
definitely. Yeah, it starts all the way um from it starts out me in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Hearing my parents argue and me remembering the day my dad walked out and left. And the trauma that was associated with that, and how I acted out, rebelled, and my stepdad coming into my life, uh, and this kid, that's portrayed, as me to some degree in this book. Um, it's crazy because it's more adulthood decisions, I feel like, and weight that was on him or me. Um, because a lot of people don't realize when I was with my mom and my sisters, my mom leaned on me like in a way I didn't even realize until I was older, but it was a lot, as far as responsibilities with doing helping her do their hair and get them ready for church and make them, you know what I'm saying? I did a lot of that up until she met, my stepdad. And so it's something that you get a up close, clear picture kind of the life that I lived as a child and why, coming into contact with my stepdad, I turned and really didn't feel like I had any other alternative. Um, when you're a young kid and you have men in the streets who are willing to, when you outside crying and they, hey man, come over here, let me buy you ice cream. And it goes from that to here, let me put some money in your pocket. To here, let me show you how to, do X, Y, and Z so you can do it for yourself. Um, it's easy to feel like that's what love is supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And so a lot of the things that I went through, was on the falseness of that fake love. Uh, and then me learning and hitting my head, you know what I'm saying? um, Me hitting my head and realizing because again, like I said before, I never realized or thought that I was gonna go to prison for taking this girl's money or these women's money. You know what I'm saying? Accepting money because you just chose this, and a lot of y'all was doing it before I even met you. So it wasn't like nobody forced you in anything like that. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Not understanding the law. And so uh, it showcases that, and the spiral out behind that, and how I kind of fell into a little bit of depression behind bars behind that, but also too how a light bulb came on again, one of the pivotal moments where it was like, okay, look, you can either fall into this or you can choose to climb out. And something that always rung in my head that my mom always beat into me, and it went in one ear out the other, was as long as you're digging this hole, or as long as it took you to dig this hole, it's gonna take you that amount of time to get out, if not longer. And it was just like I had to create a starting point at some time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So so it goes into that, and then from there, how I struggled with, I made different decisions, but struggled with the weight of those decisions and having to grow. Because you come home and of course you want to do well. You come home and of course you want to be able to provide for your family and do all these great things. Uh, and in your head it sounds like it's easy, you know. Uh, but in the reality of having to fight against, being a felon and only being able to get into certain jobs, having to wait for people to hit you back for a job. I remember at one point, if I was putting in applications for months, right, to have people tell me I didn't qualify or no thank you. And living where I'm at now in Las Vegas, if you're not bilingual, it's hard to get in.
Mm.
So, uh, it was just a lot, uh, but and again, having that instinct to say, okay, well, shit, I can go get some money this way, but then what's the consequence of the risk that come with that?
Prison,
You know what I'm
death,
saying?
all types of stuff.
So,
Look,
yeah,
so
yeah.
uh, the takeaway. What would you want a young person or an older person? It doesn't matter what's the real takeaway that you want them to get from this.
Um, to understand that nobody is immune to the trials and tribulations of life, to understand that, you know, you're going to come up against, hard times sometimes. And whether they're self-inflicted or, life is just life, you know what I'm saying? You have to figure out a way that's not going to be destructive, um, to your well-being of getting around through or under that problem. Uh, it You have to be true to who you are. Uh, for a long time, uh, I succumbed to things that just wasn't for me for the sake of the money or for the sake of it was helping my buzz or all these different types of things, uh, because those are the times where you're the most vulnerable. People can attack you the easiest. uh, so I would say stay true to who you are. Run your own, stay in your lane. You know what I'm saying? Be you. Um, and like I said, try to figure out how they, because problems are gonna come. Deaths are gonna come. Things, all these different things are gonna occur. The death of my brother that spun me into cocaine addiction. Like, I could have found a different way if I knew how to ask for help. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I would say that too, is know how to. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Uh, I spoke about this last time. Like, growing up, being a kid in the back of the classroom, being a knucklehead, we thought that was cool. You know what I'm saying? But it was the ones that was in front of the class, raising their hand, asking them questions, that was graduating top of their class, and they got to levels that I'm just now getting to or trying to get to in my life because I was playing the back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, uh, yeah, man, just be as positive as you can be, getting through these situations, but also too, don't be afraid to ask for help. because there's gonna be things that you don't understand, you don't know, and all it takes is a question to get you pointed in the right direction. So that would be my advice.
And the last thing that I'm going to ask, I am going to ask for a word of wisdom because that's what the takeaway from the book was. Drop me a word of wisdom that somebody can gain from either your experience, your life, from what you have seen. Give them something that an awaken what has awakened in you that they may be able to be woke.
I got something for him. This is one of my all-time favorites. Throughout my time with the Perspective Gents Club, we were, or going through passage, we had to memorize this, and it's something that stuck with me. And I give it to the youth every time I get a chance. So I'll leave it with you guys today. This is by Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays, and it's called Minute. He said, I have only but a minute, just 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it. But it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it. Give account if I abuse it. It's just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. So I leave you guys with that. Uh, Time is one of our most valuable assets. And I would say if you can figure out how to use that effectively, uh, along with digging into my second book from ashes to assets, you'll be on the path to success. So
Share with them where they can find your books because what I want each and every one of them to do is go get your book. Look, I need y'all to
yeah,
go.
it's on Amazon right now, man. If you go to Amazon and you type in "Crown in the Ashes" or you type in "From Ashes to Assets," it will pull up by J. Brandon Bowles. Yeah, check me out, man. This one's going for 19.99. The other one's going for 24.99. I will have some package deals coming out soon. Um, yeah, check me out, man. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, you can find me everywhere.
And also, look, keep copies of that book on hand at all times.
Oh, absolutely,
And look,
absolutely,
you got to sell them books.
absolutely.
You seen you know how you met me.
Yeah,
Look, I need you to tote a book bag full of them things at all times.
yeah,
You never
yeah.
know, and always share your story when you sharing it because what
Absolutely,
happens?
absolutely.
People may not buy your book just to buy your book. They're buying for the story, for the person that they
Right.
met. So that's my gem to you. And a congratulations on writing both of your books. Two, I want you
Appreciate
to
you.
know that look, hey, I am inspired. And I pray that hey, you continue to inspire not just the youth, but everybody else that hears this, and that they may get or gain the wisdom, but also the reflection to be able to look back over their lives and realize that, as you just said, you only got a minute. Use it to the best of your ability.
Absolutely.
Because that moment, it can change somebody's life and you're changing lives, man. Look, I'm proud to what? To say I know you and that you're one of my brothers. And look, let's continue to build. And if you ever need
Absolutely.
any help or need some knowledge about something, especially about selling books, you know I got you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna tap in for sure.
Love you, bro.
All right,
My
man.
name, my name is Carlos Walker. This is Art and Hustle, Black Authors Matter, and this is Brandon. Peace and blessings.
Love y'all.